welcome to Something to Talk About. I'm Linda McNamee, and for the next hour we are going to find out in detail all about the Burlington High School Band. Music, fun, shouted. Anyway, before I begin, I would like to thank the volunteers for this evening. We have Colleen Moore, Director Extraordinaire. Thank you, Colleen. We also have a couple of new volunteers to my show. We have Jolie Atwood and Stephanie Floridas. Sorry, Stephanie, I knew I'd screwed up. And I would like to thank them for giving up their evening, and I would also like to thank Jen Dodge and Corey McNeil for helping us get launched and ready to go. And last but definitely not least, I want to thank my husband Paul for staying home for Daddy Date Night. Hopefully the kids are in bed and asleep and don't need to come out and see you. We are not live this evening, so you cannot give us a call, but you can email us. You can always email me at talk@bcattv.org if you have a question about tonight, or if you have a suggestion for a future topic. You can always send the information my way. I love to hear from you. So thank you very much. Now I would like to introduce our wonderful guests for this evening, who are like all nice and quiet now compared to before. We have Director Extraordinaire Sean, Mr. B.
Mr. B.
Who warned me not to try to pronounce your last name. And we also have Assistant Director, who keeps him in line, Faydeen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
As I usually begin every show, can you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you grew up, how you came to Burlington, how you got interested in music, and how you landed up in charge of the Burlington High School Band?
Sure.
And you get to...
Oh, you want me to go first?
After you.
He's such a gentleman.
He is. He is. My background for the position of assistant marching band director is I've taken music through school. I was in the marching band myself in high school and in college. Drum major in my senior year in high school, and played in different alumni bands and done parades.
Cool.
All the way up till I think I had my second child.
Wow.
And I have 3 children in the school system.
Excellent.
Have gone through. 2 are in college now, and 1 is a junior in high school. And I got involved with the Francis Wyman PTO and started working, volunteering, getting involved with the schools. I then got involved with the middle school.
Okay.
And
So you kind of followed your kids
yep.
through the... Okay.
Yep. And I also work in the school department as an IT administrative assistant for the district.
Excellent. So what'd you play?
Flute and piccolo.
Oh, okay.
And stand-up bass.
Wow.
And
Can't really march with that, can you?
no, I was playing a jazz band.
Just put a nice wheel on the bottom and
So
It
just
could
drag
happen.
Drag it behind me.
yeah.
But my son started 6 years ago. He was in the high school band. I was all excited for him to start, having been a bandy myself. And it was just, got involved with the music boosters. They asked me to be on their board and kind of get to know them and support them with fundraising and being at all the football games and all the events. And then the position came up of assistant marching band director. And I was like, I would love to do that. I mean, like, really love. It's like a fantasy job that, you know.
So do you do a lot of the directing, or is the assistant position kind of like more
I'm assistant to the
administrative, or-
director.
Okay.
So I take care of a lot of there's some musical, you know, of helping the students and in marching and working with the drill, as well as organizing the students themselves.
Okay.
Attendance and, you know, coordinating everything. We all work together and move in one motion when we go somewhere.
Excellent.
Yeah. So this is my 4th year as assistant marching band director.
And then when your son graduates in 2 years, what are you going to do?
I would still hopefully be assistant marching band director.
Who needs the kids?
But I'm also the president of the boosters now.
Okay.
For the past 3 years, and so I won't be able to do that anymore.
Oh, darn.
So so I'll have to stop doing
wearing
that.
all those hats, right?
I know, yeah. But it's just from being interested and involved and having a passion for different things or wanting to learn.
Okay.
I've gotten involved in different parts of the town. I've been living in this town for 24 years.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that's kind of how, you know, I talk a lot. When you guys invited the general public to come and see the end of band camp, I'm sitting up in the stands reliving my youth, and I'm like, I want to go back. So
That's what I do all the time from August until Thanksgiving. It feels like I have just gone back into high school, and
Wow.
I love it. I could go to band with a headache to rehearsal, and rehearsal would begin, and we'd be going through it, and the headache would be gone.
Wow.
Yes,
Excellent.
I like it.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a minute.
Okay, talk to him.
What's
now.
your story?
So I'm actually not from around here. I grew up in South Florida.
Okay.
Got involved with my
Great beaches down there, by the way.
great beaches. Yeah. So I got involved with my band program in middle school and high school, and just played trombone, played euphonium, played trumpet. Became the drum major my senior year of high school. I actually started marching. This is sort of a strange coincidence with the Boston Crusaders, a drum and bugle corps.
Okay.
When I was 16 years old. So they had rehearsal camps in the winter down in Tampa.
Okay.
So the corps has been it's originally from the Boston area, founded in 1940, and over the last few years they've started having kind of like satellite camps down in Florida.
Oh,
But it was kind of cool, like as a high school student, then in college, being involved with that group that was from Boston. So it kind of, without even me ever planning on coming up here, it was sort of leading me up towards Boston. So I went to school at Florida State University, majored in instrumental music education, worked in the Orlando area for 3 years before coming here. So I actually worked at the closest high school, that's the second closest high school in the country to Disney World.
wow. I thought you were going to say you worked at Disney World.
No.
Oh, but we can't. No.
But have you been to Disney World?
I've been to Disney World a few times in my life. Yes.
When I lived down in Florida, everybody's like, oh, Florida, you go to Disney all the time. Florida's a really big state.
It is.
I was like 3 hours from Florida, but everybody, is, oh, we're going to come and visit you and hop over to,
Right.
over to Disney.
Yeah. When your apartment is 10 minutes away from Disney World and all of a sudden...
Then you have no excuses.
And an annual pass finds its way into your wallet, then, you have to go.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So this is your first year here in Burlington.
In Burlington, yes.
Okay.
I've gotten a lot of questions about this isn't your first year in Massachusetts, because then inevitably the question about the weather.
This is not an interview for, proving your worth. No.
But I've survived the winter.
You've survived the winter.
That's what everyone's worried about. I've made it through a winter. I've got my nice ski jacket. And
you still have friends down in Florida, so, you can always bail.
There you go. Hop on the jet ski whenever I need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, how big's the band this year? Roughly.
We currently have 132 in the marching band,
Wow.
the biggest in the history of Burlington High School.
Wow. Now, does that include, like, the drum majors and the flags and color guard?
Right, that's marching band.
So that's everyone.
Everybody that shows up on the field.
Right. So we've got 70 or so wind players. 3 of those are our drum majors who do the conducting during the show. We've got 16 in the drum line in what we call the battery. 16 in the pit, which we call the front ensemble, which is that group of stationary keyboard instruments that you see in the front of the field.
Okay. Those are kind of hard to march with.
Those are actually about a few years ago. They used to put those on harnesses and
I know.
march around with the timpani.
Yeah.
So we've gotten the activity's gotten a little bit nicer over the last few years.
Because you had a full-time chiropractor and massage therapist on staff too. No.
You'd need it.
We would, yeah. Oh yeah. We've got 15 in the color guard, and we've got 18 in the dance squad.
Okay, so that's marching.
Mm-hmm.
What other incarnations of band does the high school have?
So during the school day, we meet as the BHS concert band.
Okay.
Which is the same musicians from the marching band, and we offer that to our wind and percussion students. So that's about 100 of the marching band meet during the school day in the class.
Okay.
And then we also offer a jazz band that starts probably within the next month or two. That will go all the way through the end of the school year.
Okay.
And those students meet after school.
So if someone was in marching but could not fit band in their schedule, would they still be allowed to be in the band? Or do you have to like?
Well, band.
Okay, we
no,
can,
no,
No,
band
you can.
answer-
No,
you
no,
can ask that.
that's a good question.
Band is a 5-credit Monday through Friday
Okay.
class. Meets every day, 7th period. So
Okay.
just like English, math, science, history.
Right.
So and you get a grade.
Okay.
So band is the winds and percussion.
Okay.
And then the guard and the dance are considered extracurricular. It's a
Okay.
seasonal activity, which
Okay.
they try. There's auditions for that. They try out, and they make the squad, and then they're part of the marching band season, which runs from August until Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then concert band runs the rest of the year.
Okay.
And then there's what is it? Memorial Day. We have a performance as marching band, and every 3 years is Disney.
Okay. Which I can't wait to talk about. It's like I'm already telling my kids, you will be in the band. No, the reason why I'm asking is going back ancient history. When I was in high school, it was a choice for me and my assistant principal, band or American history. And I know what I wanted to choose,
Right.
and I ended up getting put into a history class
Right.
instead. But I still loved the band, so I was still able to participate just as an extracurricular. I didn't get a grade, so I was wondering if that.
Right.
That doesn't exist right now
Right.
Okay.
with the curriculum.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's band is a class,
Okay.
and then it just happens that marching band takes place as a season within that in the school year,
Okay.
and then concert band is another part of the season.
Okay.
Right.
So are the concert band kids the same
Exactly the same.
musicians?
Yes.
Okay.
They are.
And
One, one group is wearing marching band uniforms and standing up. One group is wearing concert wear and sitting down. Same kids.
and inside versus outside in most cases.
Yeah.
In most cases.
In
yeah.
most cases.
Different kinds of music. It's also, they get to play different music and work on different types of music and pieces than just marching
Okay.
music. They do actual classical pieces or more elaborate and more difficult pieces.
Okay. Now, what about jazz band? How does that fit? You said it's an extracurricular, meet after school. When do all of them perform? So, like, let's take marching band, for example. Football games, Friday nights,
Away and home.
away and home. Okay.
One thing that we've actually done this year with our performances is we're using an app called Periscope that
Okay.
anyone can download it, and we stream all of our marching band shows live on Friday nights. I don't want to put you in the TV studio out of business with the cameras, but
But you're going to try.
but we're going to work on
Well,
it.
it goes
yeah.
away after 24 hours,
Okay,
so
so
you
I was
can.
wondering if it was
Right.
like, if there was a hard copy
No,
somewhere.
so if there are folks who are interested in seeing our performances right now on a weekly basis all the way through Thanksgiving, if they download Periscope and search for Burlington Band, they'll get a notification every time we're online and ready to go.
Wow.
And then that way they can watch us from their home and they can see our performance
I see,
live.
but you don't have the wonders of post-production.
We do not.
No.
We hit
See?
we hit stop recording, and then it just
See,
travels
so there
into
are
the
advantages of coming to BCAT.
yes,
Okay?
there are.
But our
There are.
performances, we don't have any redos, so it is what it is.
Right. We are
Okay.
we are always live.
Always.
So are there other parades, like St. Patrick's Day parade, or other
We
things
do the
that...
Woburn Parade, which is the Woburn Halloween Parade, which is October
Okay.
25th this year. We're in that every year and have
Okay.
been for the past 20 years, probably, as long as it's been around.
Okay.
We
I was actually in that parade, so it's been more than 20 years. I was drum
That
major that year.
I was around.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
not
you were-
around when
don't
I
talk
was a
about
senior in high school. Nope.
Okay.
No, we're not going to touch that one.
Concert band. When do they perform?
They practice, they start midway through marching season, get the music going
Okay.
and play. And then the concert this year is December 22nd.
Okay.
At
And that's
7:30.
our winter concert.
And it's a winter concert, and
Okay.
it's with the chorus, the select chorus, the chorus, and the Glee Club.
Okay.
So that's where concert season is considered the
When you can't
concert
march.
band, right, and with chorus and select singers, as well as
Okay.
the glee club that we all perform.
Just to back up for a second, with we actually had a performance this past weekend up in Salem, New Hampshire, with the marching band. So in
Oh,
addition to
okay.
performing at all the football games,
Okay.
the band has a tradition. How many years has the band gone to Salem? At least the last.
It's the 20th year, so it's
And
been
they've
20
gone. They've
years.
gone every year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every year the band has gone up to Salem, New Hampshire to perform in an invitational.
Okay.
And we do an exhibition performance for about 15 other bands that show up there.
Wow.
So it's just kind of a big marching band activity that all the kids get to hang out and they get to watch each other. And it's a great thing that we did this past week, and we'll continue
That
to
was
do.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many buses do you need to get the whole band up there?
4
4.
Wow.
and 2 trailers pulled by trucks.
Horse and no.
Yeah.
Horse and buggy. Sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah. So in addition to Salem, we're hoping, foreshadowing a little bit for the future, we're hoping to start doing some more performances around the area, around New England, and
Okay.
just kind of getting our name out there.
Okay, because I was mentioning before that when I was in high school, we didn't have enough people to really do any field shows.
Right.
So, we did a lot of parades, and actually we had to combine with the other high school band to form enough people, but
Right.
we did like the Holyoke St. Patrick's Day parade. There was a fall foliage parade that we used to participate in, and then the local ones. And I also had an alumni band too, because they needed to invite the alumni back to fill in the missing pieces.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of alumni, we're actually, in the other direction from alumni, we're actually going to invite all of our middle school students.
Cool.
I don't know if this Friday, October 15th.
16th.
16th? Yeah.
16th. We're going to invite all of the middle schoolers from Marshall Simons to come over for our home game against Wakefield.
Cool.
And they're going to play the national anthem with us. They're going to sit in the stands and play some of our
I
pep
think I
band
still
music.
remember the fingerings
For the
baritone horn.
Yeah, for the national anthem.
Now, do the middle school kids have uniforms of their own, or do they just do you have extra uniforms in storage, and
We're
or do
not.
they just
We
show
don't. We
up?
don't want it to be that.
So they just show up.
We're not going to indoctrinate them just yet.
Yeah, they'll
some
show
of them,
up.
Some of them have shirts from their concert band
Okay.
that they were in at the middle school. So some of them will wear that. Some of them will wear just Burlington High School red.
Okay.
But they'll show up and we'll just treat them as part of the family because they
Neat.
are.
Right.
So.
Now, how often have you been doing this bridge up to high school thing?
So I believe last year was the first year where the symphonic band, which is primarily 7th and 8th graders at the middle school,
Okay.
were invited over to play the national anthem. And then this year we extended it to all 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And then we also invited them if they wanted to stay and hang out with us in the stands. And then if they want to stay and watch our halftime show too, we're going to give them front row seats right on the tracks. That way they can be our VIP guests.
And then there's snacks.
And then we'll
give
just
them
feed
snacks.
them.
Hey,
then we'll just feed them graham crackers.
Third quarter snacks.
Yeah.
That's how they did it in college.
Yeah.
Come, free food.
Yeah.
So speaking of field show, how do you get your ideas for what to do on a field show? Music, choreography, all that kind of stuff.
So-
That's your area.
So this year's show.
I don't remember if it was on the list, but I was
That's-
curious
no, it's
anyway.
fine. This year's show, I found myself in a unique position because, there's such a history within Burlington of the band program and the tradition that Matt
Okay.
Lovell has developed over the last 30 years. And it was really important for me being hired in the middle of the summer. Basically being hired and then said, by the way, in about a month, you're starting band camp and you have to pick a show, you have to pick the music, you have to design the drill, and you've got to get all these things going immediately. And so one of the
Baptism
first
by fire.
exactly, yeah, and in a Disney year too.
And it
so,
is here.
yeah.
Woohoo!
So one of the first things I did was I looked back. I had Faydeen send me the last few years of marching band shows because
Okay.
it was really important to me that in order to figure out where we're going, I have to know where the band's been. I can't just come in
Right.
as a newcomer and say, well, this is how I do it.
Okay.
So I looked at the shows, I looked at the design, I made sure that the music I was picking was appropriate for what they've done. I made sure that the drill that I was designing was things that they could accomplish, but they would be challenged.
Okay.
And then just a lot of input too from our marching band staff as well.
So what is the theme to this year?
The
Or can we not? If
No.
you tell me you have to, kill me afterwards or
No.
something.
no, this is
only during band camp. we
Only
can't,
during band camp.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The theme of this year, we actually have a show title. The name of the show is Le Cirque. So the show is about the circus. If you check us out on Periscope or see us at the football game, we've got 9 circus tents that surround the field.
Wow.
But the show isn't actually so much about the circus as it is about Cirque du Soleil.
Okay.
I don't know how many, if you're familiar with Cirque
I'm
du
familiar with it. I've never seen them,
Okay.
but
So we're basically
watched them on PBS a long time
Right.
ago.
Yeah. Actually, the show that I modeled this year's marching show after was in downtown Disney. There's a Cirque du Soleil. Most Cirque du Soleil shows travel. There's
Okay.
one in Orlando that is at its own venue and
Okay.
it never moves,
Right.
called Lanuba. And so all the music is from the Lanuba show. And a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of the visual ideas that I used in designing the show come from Lanuba.
Cool.
So like the beginning of the show starts out with our drum major Steven, who's just a natural showman.
He is.
Keith Lockhart up in these parts, right?
Yeah.
So
He's
he's
a music man.
yeah, he was the lead in last year's production of The Music Man. He played Harold Hill.
Okay.
So he starts off the show as sort of this like bumbling doofus character who's just kind of walking around, doesn't really know
Okay.
what's going on. He's imitating the drum majors. He's making fun. He's kind of our buffoon.
Okay.
So as the show develops, he'll bring out different characters onto the stage. He'll bring out. We've got 2 very, very talented students in our dance squad who do a like balancing flexibility sort
Wow.
of partner dance during our
Okay.
ballad. In the 3rd production, he'll actually blow his whistle and bring out all 18 of our dancers who act as tumblers and acrobats. And
Oh, wow,
so it's
okay.
more of like a modern acrobatic Cirque du Soleil type of approach to the circus as opposed to 3-ring circus,
Okay.
elephants, that sort of
Although
thing.
having some elephants on the field might be kind of interesting.
We might need to
The artificial
we
turf,
might need
they
to
might
we
not
might need to
like
bring
it.
in animal control for that.
Well, I didn't say it was plausible. I said
Right.
it was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, but when we come up with ideas, we try to make them happen. so-
Yeah. We'll get some digital elephants on the field.
Yeah, we could have like a hologram.
Like a hologram, yeah.
Yeah.
CNN style.
Ooh, technology.
Yeah.
Okay, I had another question and I just lost it. But anyway, instruments. I think I mentioned to you, before the show started that our marching band was so small and our concert band was so small that we had to change instruments.
Right.
So, how do you ever encourage kids based on what your needs are for the field show, what instruments are best or that you need so they have to like learn to play other instruments?
Within
Does that make sense?
yeah,
at all?
absolutely.
That's a good question.
Okay.
No, because within our certain numbers, let's say we've got 70 winds musicians on the field.
Okay.
If you've got 35 flutes and you've got 1 tuba, that's basically like having 19 quarterbacks on your team and 1 offensive lineman.
Right.
We're not going to sound very good because we don't have the ideal balance that
Okay.
we need. So right now, the group of our 65, 70 wind players, we're double the amount of woodwinds, so flutes, clarinets, and saxophones, than we are in the brass section.
Okay.
So one of the things that that we'll do throughout the course of the year is talk to the students about maybe switching over to some of the brass instruments, getting them started on the French horn, because right now we don't have any French horns in the band. Getting some of them started on tuba, just so that we can balance out the group a little bit better.
Okay.
And then we've also had some conversations with the middle school and the elementary school about how can we make sure that by the time we get to the high school, we've got we've
Okay.
got 3 quarterbacks, 10 offense. We've got everything we need for
It's
us to
balanced.
be successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Which also probably helps you in selecting music, that you can find stuff that
Right.
doesn't solely rely on tubas or
Right.
something.
In a concert band piece, if I wanted to program a work, and let's say there was an oboe solo in it, and if we don't have an oboe, either we're not going to play that piece, or we could give it to somebody else, and
Okay.
We could do that.
We
but
always,
it wouldn't.
flutes always got the oboe music when I was growing
Yeah.
up. No, is there an oboe player?
There is not, but there might be soon. We're working on
I
that.
always wanted to learn, but I just couldn't do reed instruments.
Oboe can scare
And
a
that's
lot
a
of people.
double
Double
reed.
reed.
Yeah.
I couldn't even do a single reed, so I'm just like, okay. Oh, which brings me back to a question that I had earlier. When you were growing up, you did mostly brass
Correct.
instruments. As part of your role as director, do you have to know how to play every single instrument?
Mm-hmm.
Have you learned?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, when I started,
Not to put any pressure on him.
comes with the job. So when I started in Florida, we started in 6th grade as opposed to in Massachusetts, where most instrumental programs will start in 4th grade, as we do in Burlington. I started in 6th grade on the trombone. I was lucky enough to be in a middle school where I got so into band, and I said, I want to join a second band on a different instrument. And I had the opportunity with my schedule and with my electives.
Okay.
So in 7th grade, I played trombone in the top group, and then I started playing trumpet. And then by my 8th grade year, I'd picked up euphonium. So I kind of learned brass instruments throughout middle school and high school. And then when I got to college, as part of my degree program, I took courses in woodwind techniques and double reed techniques and percussion techniques. So that way, you know, I would be practicing them. I'd be playing them in ensembles. I would be doing conducting workshops where I would have to address issues with those instruments.
Okay.
So that way, you know, when I'm here, I can speak the language of any instrument and ideally be able, some better than others, be able to pick up the instruments and to model on the instrument for them.
Speaking of instruments and bouncing and playing multiple instruments, instruments are very expensive. Now, does the high school have like a rental or loaner program for students who want to learn how to play the oboe?
Yeah.
You know,
So
parents are probably not going to be likely to say, yeah, let's just go out and buy you a brand new oboe and after a week.
Right, and this is a big, looking to the future, this is definitely something that we can start to grow within Burlington. The elementary, John Middleton Cox has made a connection with Leonard's Music, which is a music store in Bedford.
Okay.
And they do rentals for many groups around the area. So basically, when you start in 4th grade, the idea is that you'll rent an instrument through Leonard's Music.
Okay.
And they'll provide certain instruments, high quality instruments that you can rent, and then as you make the payments, eventually it becomes your instrument.
Okay.
And the middle school and high school do have certain instruments in our inventory.
Okay.
So, for example, we at the high school, if you play flute, you're expected to provide your own flute. We don't provide every single flute player.
But like a sousaphone.
Right. You're not, Leonard's Music does not rent sousaphones, and you're not expected to go to the music store and buy a sousaphone.
Yeah.
So the bigger instruments, the sousaphones, the bass clarinets, the French horns, things that you wouldn't normally be expected to rent from Leonard's Music or from a local music store, those are the instruments that we ideally will provide for students.
Ideally.
Yes. So, yeah, it's, you know, with having such a long tradition of band in Burlington, we could use some new instruments. We're in need of upgrading our inventory. So, you know, there are certain instruments that I can give to students, and you know, it's an instrument. It produces a sound, but you know, one of my I've told the students this. One of my primary goals and objectives as being new to this program is I think the students deserve to be playing on the highest quality instruments. So that way, you know, if you're a senior in high school and you're still playing on the clarinet you got in 4th grade, I can work my wonders and clap my hands and make potions appear, but at the end of the day, there's going to be a little bit of 4th grader in your sound if you're still playing on a beginner instrument. So we've started those discussions about, you know, starting small with getting the kids new mouthpieces, right? Because that may cost $50 or $100 instead of, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 for a new instrument. So it's all part of what we can do to make sure that the band sounds like a professional ensemble.
Cool. All right, speaking of very expensive instruments, fundraising. What kind of fundraising does the band normally do? I know you guys just had a car wash, and we're going to talk about the Disney trip real soon. But uniforms, music, copyright issues on the music, you know, munchies for performances,
The list goes
instruments, da 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 da.
Well, the budget covers most of what you talked about. Uniforms
Okay.
were covered by the budget. We got uniforms a year ago.
How often are uniforms normally replaced?
From the last set to this brand new set was
Yeah.
15 years.
15 years. Okay.
We're still using parts of the 15-year-old uniforms, but we got brand new
Yeah,
ones
the freshmen
last year.
try it on. This uniform is older than I am. It's like, yep. Okay.
Yep. So we have brand new uniforms last year. But as far as music and instruments and things like that, that's covered mostly under budget. Our buses
Okay.
to and from performances covered under the budget. As far as snacks and scholarships for marching band members,
Okay.
we also support the BHS Music Boosters Association.
Okay.
They're the support that goes beyond the budget.
Oh, okay.
And so we provide scholarships as well as assistance for chorus, select chorus, marching band, concert band, and we're kind of flowing over into the drama for the spring musical and help support in that way. And so it's a support group, and
Now,
we do a lot of fundraising with them.
Okay, now just a quick tangent. Spring musical.
Mhm.
Do the band members generally provide the music, or is it like an extracurricular and whoever feels like?
It's usually professional with
Really?
some students
Okay.
that can play well,
Okay.
that do play.
Sorry, I'm just
Yeah.
slowly
But a
starting
lot
to
of
get
a lot
into
of
the
the
school system
students
myself,
that
so.
are it's kind of interchangeable. A lot of the
Okay.
chorus, there's a lot of chorus students that are in dance squad and color guard.
Okay.
There's a lot of band members that are in stage crew, and also in the musicals or the productions.
Okay. All right.
I know my son, when he was in high school, he was in stage crew and ended up working in the booth with the lighting. He would help design the lighting, and he would run all the lighting since he was a freshman.
Cool.
So he worked with the different people, and then he was the booth head booth technician his senior year, and now he's doing it in college
Wow.
as a side extracurricular activity.
Okay. Not as major.
No, chemistry is his major,
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Brave boy.
and he's playing drums now too.
Why not?
in
There you go.
a church band.
Well-rounded individual.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
But
nice
that's
young
one
man.
of the main things about the program that I had growing up,
Okay.
being in a band program, that I wanted for my children was to have a well-rounded education and to be a well-rounded person and to, you know, have these activities and be dedicated to a program and music, and it
Well,
helps
plus,
with
even
being students.
aside, studies have shown that kids who learn music and who participate in musical programs actually perform better in science and math.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Right.
Science, chemistry.
We just added the STEM to STEAM.
There
We
you go.
added arts.
Added the arts.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to steal that.
It's a thing, isn't it? STEM.
It is now.
There
Well,
you
I know
go.
STEM is, but I never heard.
STEM, but STEAM. That's one of the
Full
things
steam
that
ahead.
that they wanted to add art
Okay.
as part of that whole curriculum.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right, Disney.
Yay, Disney.
My old stomping grounds.
I know. Disney. We go from it's every 3 years
Okay.
since the 80s. The
Okay.
marching band has gone, but you still have to apply.
So it's not the whole
go.
band. It's not all 130.
Yes, it
something?
is.
Oh, it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're taking 132 students, 14 chaperones, and 7 staff members.
Okay, so what's the application process?
This year was the first year I did it. Mr. Lovell had done it before, so I had
okay.
no idea what. I knew we applied. I just didn't
And I
know
was
how you did
designing,
it.
Oh, apply
I was
at
designing
Disney.
the marching band show,
And he
so
hadn't really arrived yet, but
Right,
we
I
had
was-
decided we were going to go to Disney.
Okay, so you as a band, BHS Band,
we have to
applies
apply,
Disney.
regardless
okay, I
of
thought,
having
like, the
done it
kids had to
before.
apply saying, I want to go to Disney. Okay.
No,
No,
but
no.
we as an organization, as an ensemble, apply.
Okay.
And you give them the whole background. You send them a photo of your group. You send them some video footage of you playing,
Okay.
and then you ask, let them know when you'd like to go. So it's usually go on April vacation,
Oh, okay.
and you can request what day you'd
drive
like to.
down or
We
fly
fly.
down?
We'll actually have our own plane.
Wow. Well, yeah, with 140 people, you need your own
Well, in the
plane.
past, they've done the trips before the
Okay.
last one we had 3 years ago was split, where they split planes.
We are very
Oh,
fortunate to have a situation right now where we have got the entire band on one chartered flight nonstop from Manchester.
Wow.
So it
okay.
puts everyone,
It is
parents and
nonstop.
us, at ease.
Okay.
3 years ago when we planned it, we started working with a travel company called World Class Vacations, and they specialize in musical groups traveling.
Oh, cool. Now, you said there's an application process.
Mm-hmm.
Because BHS Band has been doing it for years,
Mm-hmm.
is there a chance that your application won't get accepted some year?
I would think the likelihood is we would get accepted, but there's a chance that we wouldn't get marching down Magic, Main
Right.
Street in Magic Kingdom,
Okay.
because they have
Or
other
they-
venues.
Or they would change
Oh.
your date, or they would change your venue, and
Right.
do it on a
Okay.
conditional.
Right. But we
experience.
applied to
March
go
down
that
Main Street?
March down Main Street, which is what we did
Wow.
before, which is phenomenal. That was actually one of my bucket list items growing up, it was awesome.
Cool.
And you got to so we're going to be marching down Main Street on Tuesday, the 19th, in the 2:30 pre-parade to the parade that goes down
Okay.
through Magic Kingdom.
Now, when you march, is there like the field show component, or is it just straight marching, or do you need to do
Oh, that's a
something
good
new
question.
choreography
I like-
for it?
I like
This is
that
a great
question.
This is an October question.
It is.
It's probably something.
Should I not be asking
No,
this
it's
question?
fine.
Oh,
As
it's a good
we,
question.
it's something that we're heavy in the middle of our marching season right now, and we've gone
Don't
through.
want to think about it.
Right, we've gone through all the logistical steps to
Okay.
get to Disney and everything like that. While there hasn't been a whole lot of discussion yet about what we'll actually be doing, we do know that one of the other reasons why we chose the Cirque du Soleil show for the marching show is because that music it's Disney music, but it's not. We can play it because it's not. It's not When You Wish Upon a Star.
Right.
But it's music that is very sort of
Frozen, let it go. No.
right. It's very synonymous with what it is that Disney does and the kind of entertainment that they provide.
okay.
So the plan is that we'll be playing the music from our show
Okay.
during the parade, and then doing obviously the choreography is a little bit different since we don't have a field and one audience in one spot. We're gonna keep the train moving the whole time.
Okay.
That's one of the requirements, is that you have to keep marching forward.
Okay.
Right.
Because I know
So-
sometimes in some parades, like Macy's Thanksgiving or whatever, they stand in front of the stand and do a little.
Right.
We can't stop.
Right. So
Okay.
we'll actually
Can't stop.
we'll actually design the parade route and what we're actually going to be choreographing, so that way there's never a stop. There's never a
Right.
pause.
And
Okay.
3 years ago was the first time we ever did that, where the requirement is you have to keep marching forward, and they're always pulling you to, come on, let's go, And we actually did a lot of our halftime routine moving
Oh,
forward, where there was a lot of, dancers would come through and then they'd come around and come back, or
Okay.
there'd be a lot of interchanging or scattering.
Okay.
And we did some chanting, and we did some, it was very different. And it actually caught the eye of Disney. And we found out that we're on the short list to be invited to the Christmas parade. That's
Cool.
like the first week in December. They tape it, and it's on ABC.
Neat.
So we haven't been invited yet. So I think this next trip is going to be
No pressure.
it's going to be the,
got it.
we're going to see it, But we had a lot of people
Excellent.
notice us when we went down.
So let's just use our imaginations for a moment. You go in April, prove yourselves worthy of the Christmas show. Would that be 3 years from now, or would that be like
I'm not
next
sure
year,
how that
or-
works. It wouldn't be in the same year.
Okay.
I would think it might be the following December, but I haven't. I guess we would find out once we're invited.
Oh, okay.
'Cause it's
so
up
they
to
kind
them
of
to
tell you
invite.
you will be in 2016 or 2017.
invited.
We don't want to count our chickens before
Right.
they.
So that's the
Understood.
thing.
Understood.
Yeah. So we're on the short list. We've been noticed to be considered to be invited. Is what I would how I would
Yeah.
put it.
Mr. Disney is watching.
Yes.
Well,
That's kind of scary.
that's another topic.
So how do you prepare, aside from the choreography, which is to be determined, what are some of the activities you guys have planned to get ready for it? Because chartering an airplane, is that part of the regular budget, or are you guys doing like different fundraisers?
Each student
okay.
is responsible, and chaperone is
And
responsible
chaperone, okay.
for paying their own trip costs, which is a really good package deal, where it's, you know, for the kids it's about $1,300 to go for 5 days, plane, hotel, park tickets, and then it's another, you know, $25 or $35 a day for food.
Okay.
And that is paid for by each individual family.
Okay.
The boosters offer, it's all run through the Boosters Association, and we offer fundraising activities once a month
Okay.
to help reduce the cost. So if they participate in the fundraiser, whether it's at a group, as a group, and you get a
Okay.
percentage of the profits, or you sell so much of something,
Okay.
you get that taken off your trip
Oh, that's cool.
as well.
That's incentive,
Yeah,
especially for families who may have more than one person in the band
right,
or going on the trip,
right,
because there could be a chaperone.
right. And we're trying, as the boosters are trying, to really give the kids opportunity to reduce their trip.
Okay.
You know, so it's like you said, the car wash was something we kicked off for the month of September.
Which was awesome, by the way.
It was great. It was a lot of fun.
They did a nice job on my car.
They were really good. And
And
I'll
you were
tell
very
you,
smart not having people get out of the cars, because last time we went to a car wash, my 4- and 6-year-old insisted on helping.
no, you had to
So-
stay in your car.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But we were, I
But
mean,
it was
the thing is
cool.
the parents that work and volunteer for the boosters, the past few years, and especially this year, you send out one plea like, I need something. Can anyone help with this? And within a half an hour, I've got 20 emails saying, yeah, what do you need? I'll be there.
Cool.
And it doesn't matter what it is, from driving one of our trailers, because one person was sick, couldn't make it.
Oh.
And within a day, I was able to find one of the parents that said, I had 7 parents
Wow.
say they could drive.
Now, do you need like a special license, or is it just like renting a U-Haul?
For the trailers that we have now, you just need to be able to be comfortable driving a truck.
Right.
Okay.
So
Right. So it's like that. You just throw that out there. They provide all those snacks for the after halftime. So we put out a Google Doc, and everybody signs up for what they want. And you think the whole entire season is full
Wow.
within the first 2 weeks when we send it out. People have already signed up for everything. They're amazing.
Cool.
I mean, they're a great group.
Because all of them were in band when they were
Yeah.
growing up, and now how much fun it is.
Well, that's the thing. You're excited to be a band parent because you were in band, or there's a lot that have been in band, but they just love the program and just love the show, and they're just more than willing to help all the time. Sometimes I have to turn people away because we have too many people giving out water at the Halloween parade.
Oh,
I need 8 parents. Within an hour, I have 10. And that's like, I got
How do you
4
say
more, and
no?
I'm like, okay, can I get you next time?
it really does take a village, though, in terms of
does.
what we do to get the
Okay.
band, down the road, so to speak. There's so much that goes into even just, one performance that, when parents reach out and help us, we couldn't do without them.
And we had our parents, we refit everybody for their uniforms this year.
Oh, okay.
And that included the new freshmen, as well as anyone whose uniform didn't fit anymore. And
Okay.
it was probably 2/3 of the band
Wow.
didn't fit between growing and all that. And I sent out an email and said, can anybody help on Tuesdays and Thursdays during rehearsals, help out, fit the kids? And then we had parents I had 5 to 8 parents helping out during that time, but then they also would take 15 uniforms home over a weekend and sew them
Jeez. Wow.
and return them. So, I mean, it's just, I could go on, and it's just,
Yeah.
there's so many different things that they help with. That's amazing.
Excellent.
But our next event for fundraising
Okay.
it's early November, but things will start selling in the next week or so.
Okay.
Tickets actually start going on sale tomorrow.
Tickets.
Yes.
Tickets
for our annual gala concert and silent auction, which is
Okay.
the cornerstone of the boosters,
Okay.
fundraising.
Now, do they do that every year for
Every
like
year.
the scholarships and this year?
We do it
there's-
to, it's done in 2 phases. One is ticket sales.
Okay.
Depending on the year, our select chorus will go to Carnegie Hall to perform. The band goes to Disney,
Okay.
and then there's usually a buy year, which we try to recoup from all the fundraising.
Okay.
But ticket sales, which are $10 a piece,
Okay.
if your a child's in the band, they want to sell their 5 tickets to family members, their name's on the slip, they get $50 off their trip.
Wow.
So for every ticket they sell,
Okay.
they get $10 off their trip.
Okay.
So that's where that money goes.
Okay.
And then the silent auction, which is all donations from people, families, and local businesses. Those auction items, whatever's profited from that, goes to the general boosters to cover all of the
Okay.
scholarships, as well as the annual budget that we have to cover for everything for the year.
Okay. Did you want to mention any of those special
Oh, I
auction
do,
items?
actually. Let me see. The
I couldn't see your list, so I'm like,
my
do I
little
ask
list.
her or
Yes,
not?
ask me. Well, actually, we have quite a few auction items. We always
Okay.
have between 50 and 65 auction items, which everybody walks around and can bid. There's also a dessert reception during intermission, an extended
dessert.
intermission, which is provided by all local businesses, shops, supermarkets. They provide all that as well.
Okay.
And so we do the auction during that time. And so, for example, Burton's
So is it
Grill,
all a silent auction?
it's all silent.
Okay.
So everybody's issued a number,
Okay.
and your number is what you put down with your bid.
Okay.
And then there's a cash out process at the end. So Burton's Grill, which is local here in town, it's a $350 dinner for 6 with a wine pairing.
Ooh. Sounds good.
Yeah, and then Real School of Music, they've
Okay.
given us 2. They usually do give us $130 value for 1 month, which is 4 lessons
Okay.
at their school. But this year, because it's a Disney year and they wanted to do something a little bit better, they are giving us 1 week free, which is $600 value
Wow.
for jam session, which is their camp during
Cool.
during the holiday break or during February or April
Okay.
vacation. For the whole week, they can attend the camp. So that would
Excellent.
be it's a $600 value. We also applied this year for Disney park tickets.
Oh.
$620 value
Wow.
for park tickets, and we were approved for that. And so that's the first time we've
Excellent.
ever done that. It's quite the process of trying to apply to Disney.
Yeah, they don't mess around.
And one of the top, this is like huge.
There's more?
There's huge. Well, there's all kinds. There's all kinds of food and
Okay.
actually
But
our
wait,
music
there's more.
music
Okay.
department donates 4 tickets to the fall drama, which is in December, and the spring musical, which is
Do
in
we
April.
know what the drama's going to be yet?
The drama is
Not to put you on the spot.
The Miracle Worker,
Ooh. Okay.
and then the spring musical is Mary Poppins.
I just went to see Mary Poppins this summer.
And then there's also a concert series that we do for with the Chamber of Commerce. And so we have 4 tickets to the Lexington Symphony, which is in December for their holiday concert,
Okay.
as well as 4 tickets in May for Glenn Miller Band, which was here, the orchestra, which was fabulous.
Excellent.
So they're going to donate
Gee,
those.
I didn't even know Lexington had a symphony.
They do, don't they?
They do.
They do. It's very nice.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I guess I got to get out more.
Or you could come to the concert. And
Or I
check
could
it
come
out.
to the
There you go.
I could come to the fundraiser and bid on the tickets.
There you go. So we have tickets. We have Celtics tickets. We have. I mean, it's just.
So do you have to know somebody in the band in order to score some tickets to the silent auction?
No. It's open to the general public.
Okay.
So you buy a ticket to the concert. The concert itself it's Disney themed. And this year, the students are actually the show. There'll be a full band performance.
Okay.
There'll be a color guard performance, dance squad, as well as chorus, glee club, and then we had individual auditions a week ago.
Oh.
And so it's
Okay.
a full
Variety show.
Oh, neat.
So just because you play trombone in the band, you could actually play guitar and sing.
And then juggle.
Do something
No.
different. Well, if you can do that, I guess.
Just not at the same time.
So that's the show, and so intermission is about 45 minutes or so instead of the standard 15 minutes. And they have the reception and then the auction. So if you go to the gala, to the concert, you then participate in the auction.
Okay.
So it's important to have people at the concert.
All right. So it's called a gala. Does that mean it's like a black tie thing, or
No.
do I need to go out and
Last
buy a
year's
gown?
theme was black tie, but this year it's
Yeah.
Disney. We
Okay.
actually encouraged the little
Oh, wear
kids
my
to wear their
Taskmasters.
princess and
So little
pirate
kids
costume.
are, it's a
Absolutely.
okay for little kids to go?
Absolutely. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on November 8th.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to write this down.
Yeah, and the tickets are at, you can call in for tickets,
Okay.
which is 781-A-FUN-TIC, T-I-C.
Huh.
And then
Okay.
the tickets online are Burlington Theater with the R-E at the end.
R-E.
Theatre.
A real thrill.
Theatra.com.
Theatre.
And tickets can be bought there.
Oh,
As well.
excellent.
But the big auction item that I really have to tell you
Oh,
about
sorry.
is it's Dental Bright is a brand new dental office in town
Yeah.
on Cambridge Street,
Okay.
brand new.
Yeah.
And they gave us a call saying we want to be part of supporting you, give back to the community. What can we do? And I said, well, what do you want to do? I'm thinking maybe a cleaning, or some dentists have given.
Braces.
Actually, yeah. Yeah, an orthodontics package for full braces.
Wow.
Invisalign, and it's valued at $5,000 to $7,000.
Holy cow.
And the orthodontist said, if we have a lot of activity on that auction, he will also offer it to the second runner-up of the auction at their bid.
Wow.
So
Cool.
that's kind of neat. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go and bid on that just because I know my poor kids are going to
Well,
be
There's
destined.
going to be some straight teeth in Burlington.
Lots of
over the
straight
next
teeth.
few years.
But there's a lot of kids that need braces. And
Well, you
so-
need straight teeth for the embouchure
There you go.
in playing
It's very
Yeah, if you want the
musical
air to go right
instruments.
Right now, most of the kids are playing with braces, which they have to learn how to play
Yeah.
all over again. And then they get them off, and they have to learn how to play all over again.
Yeah, been there, done that.
But that was huge. That was huge.
That-
So that's
yeah.
a really great auction item. So again, we need to have people in the seats in order to participate.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And we only have a few minutes left.
Wow, that went quick.
It did. And we actually have a little clip of your latest, the Stoneham football game halftime show?
Yeah.
And if Colleen can we see just a couple minutes of it so we can come back and say goodbye to everybody when we're done?
I heard in my sleep. We're back. Gotta love that. That was really cool. It's a good show.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Now, thinking of uniforms, and it looked like it was raining that night. I mean, what happens to the uniforms and to the dancers and everything when it's raining? At least you're on artificial turf and you don't get covered in mud. But
At Burlington.
at Burlington,
at
okay, good
Burlington.
point.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there
I
like
mean,
a
it gets cold too,
cleaning
so
budget?
yeah. Well, we do. We have everything cleaned once a year
Okay.
after the season, or this year it'll be before we go to Disney.
Right.
Okay.
We're actually a little bit more concerned with the group that was in the front of the field, the front
Okay.
ensemble. We've got an electronics setup where we've got a guitar,
Okay.
a bass. Actually, in our ballad, we've got one of our students playing an electric violin in the ballad.
Oh, I saw that. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
So we, more than anything else, when it rains, we get very concerned about the electronic. Yeah, about the electronics, and then also, some of those keyboard instruments that we just purchased are very, very expensive, and we want to try and keep those as nice as possible. So when it rains, we kind of put all hands on deck on keeping those dry. And actually, with the show this year, it kind of worked out that in that game. We didn't have we now have fabric around all of those canopies, so they look like
circus
they look like
tents.
circus
Neat.
tents. We didn't have them for that game, so we just we've got 9 canopies.
We put them out
So we
they
put
could
one
play
of
under
the
them.
canopies on top of the electronics. That way we kept that dry.
Oh, okay.
So Dan, the violinist, he played his solo underneath a canopy. So it was kind of a different night, but we
But
put him to
we
use.
have the jackets. We have like weather jackets that they wear, red ones with
okay.
a zipper hood that says Burlington
Okay.
on the hood.
So the more
And-
casual uniform look.
Well, they wear the uniforms underneath. So then
Okay.
what we
Yeah.
did there was they had them on, and then they took them off and then went
the
out on the
field show
field.
and then put it back on.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And then it gets cold.
Yeah.
So I've
So
heard.
yeah, you just wait.
March in the snow.
Just wait. Yes. So we do. We so we go. We'll
I'm
have
gonna
the.
get him some mittens.
Yeah, he's gonna need a lot more than mittens.
I wasn't gonna go there.
You're gonna be cold.
I'll need a nice hat for my.
You know,
will.
if you're going to Disney, I have great Minnie Mouse earmuffs. With the big pink bow. They look great. Matching gloves.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna
I think
have
he already has a set.
I have to use them for myself. So, well, we are just about out of time. So I do want to definitely thank you both for coming.
Thank
It's
you for having us.
been fun, and I definitely have to order my tickets now.
Yes, that would be great.
And now that I can bring the kids, that's a whole other story. But I do want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening, and hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did, and I look forward to seeing you around town. Thanks and good night.